If you don't listen to anything that I said. Hi everyone, it's Tsungi here. I am going to be telling you about your top universities and how I managed to get into my dream university, UCT, and how I am now studying law, and how you can do the same or just get into your top universities. I got into all of the universities that I applied to because I was strategic about it. Don't just go applying, throwing applications out everywhere, because you usually only do get like 2 to 3 different course selections per university, so you need to be really strategic about it if you do hope to study. My first thing that I'm going to be talking about is actually understanding what you're applying for. You need to download each university prospectus, right? And what that basically is a document where the university kind of speaks about each individual course and all the things that they have on offer that you can basically take away from this university. You need to know, if you want to become a doctor, what course you have to have studied. You can't just say, oh yeah, doctor, I'm going to go study dentistry, because it will not work. Don't just apply without knowing. Be sure that your specific thing that you're applying for at that university will qualify you to get that job that you want later on. And with that, you need to understand the minimum requirements to actually get into that specific degree. So each in the prospectus, you'll see that it'll basically outline, this is the course that you want, and I'll use law as an example because that is what I'm studying, the LLB, right? So it'll have, let's say English, a certain mark is required of you, as well as maths, let's say, or it might be physical science. Those are the 3 ones that are usually required, for most degrees, but obviously depending on what you are studying. So you need to know exactly what mark they require of you, and if you do not meet that requirement, rather apply for something else that you actually do meet the requirement for, so that you can get in. If you don't meet the minimum requirements, chances are you won't get in. That being said, I made sure that I applied to the courses that I would definitely get into, and then being a little bit ambitious, because I don't think it's a bad thing to be ambitious, right? With the LLB, most people don't even get into that straight course. If you know a little bit about how that works, is that you'll first there's the humanities way or the straight law way, and most people actually get in through that humanities way. So I'd say that make sure you are aware of what marks are required of you, and just work hard consistently, and you might get into at least one of the 2 ways, and then yeah. But basically all I'm trying to say about that is that it's really competitive. You're not just competing with people in your school or your friends or whatever. You're competing with the whole of South Africa, and out of that only 50 people are getting into that specific course. That you are aware of the different requirements that are there, and be realistic about what your marks are currently at, and maintain those marks, or obviously work on improving them. I can say that, so if you're sure about what you're applying for, make sure that you apply early. You should actually check, I would advise that you check each university's page or whatever, their website. Find out that specific faculty that you're applying for. When do their applications open, when do they close? Because there's some universities that might have a certain application date that it closes at, but then another faculty might have it slightly earlier within that university. So you don't want to be left realizing that, oh, you haven't actually applied, when you thought that you would still have time, right? So apply early, because later on, there's a plane. Later on, around by the time that you get your final result, exams and everything, it will be really busy. So I know that in matric already life is quite busy, but just find time to make those applications, get them done, because by the time that it's calm, applications will be closed and you won't have time to apply anymore. And most universities don't actually have late applications, right? So what you will need to apply. Most universities require a copy of your ID, certified copy of your ID, grade 11 report, your final grade 11 report, and an application fee, which is usually around 200 to 300 rand, but that's specific universities. So it's not every university that you have to pay for that application fee. Obviously, if that is not within your means, there are ways to get exempted from it. You just have to do a little bit more research. But yes, don't not apply because you don't have enough money to fill out an application or that sort of thing. Then some might just require a personal statement, motivational letter, but I don't think I had to do any of those. I created a folder on my laptop where I had my ID, parents' ID, grade 11 final report, scan all those documents and put them into one folder. Make sure you have that all together so you're not running around in the chaos of matric trying to find documents. Also, I would say a tip that really helped me, and I think would help you too, is making sure that you create a new Gmail account. Create a new Gmail account where that'll be your email address. Anytime that they ask for an email address of yours, then you'll put that email. The reason why I say this is because you will get so many different emails from so many different universities during this application process, and you do not want to miss a really important email. So I would say do not use your school's email address that they've probably given you. Do not use your personal email address that you usually use. If you don't listen to anything that I said, yeah, new email address is what you need. And then make yourself stand out. So it's not only about your marks. Your leadership is quite important. I think that really helped me. They do look at other things, so leadership, sport, extracurricular stuff, achievements, activities, that sort of thing. Don't solely stress on your marks and like trying to get the best marks. Also be involved in whatever you're doing so that you can try stand out as well. So academic Olympiads and that sort of thing, obviously that is no longer your priority, but yeah, make sure that you are trying to stand out. And then your NBTs, I think UCT, at the time that I was applying, UCT was, I think, one of the only universities that required strictly that you actually have make sure that you know whether NBTs are required for that specific course, university, that sort of thing. I would just say do them. If you're not too sure, do them, study for them, prepare for them. I prepared for them with Advantage Learn. I don't think it's 100% necessary, but I think it definitely eased the pressure for me, and that helped in me getting good results for my NBTs, right? So NBTs, make sure that you do those, don't forget about them. And then also the last thing that I'm going to talk about is fees, right? So many people are deterred from applying for university because they know that they won't be able to afford the fees that come along with it. So if you know that you've been achieving well academically or just even average, but I would say definitely do apply for funding. Don't let not having enough money stop you from doing that, because you never know what just might happen. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys so far. Those are the tips that I would say that you should, like, if you do that, you should be pretty fine if your results are okay. I think the application process should go pretty smooth. I will be making a video on the different university applications and all of that stuff. But yeah, do start your applications and let me know if you do have any trouble along the way, and I'll be able to help you with that. Bye.